technology is the most powerful change in the world of education.
Everything changes.
Welcome to the Emerging Technologies in Education podcast, delivered to you by Clever Books Company.
Dear listeners, welcome to the Emerging Technologies in Education podcast series. And today we have a guest, Itamar. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining, and my pleasure to host this podcast with you. And thank you for your time. And before we start, I want to give you the word to introduce yourself, tell what you do, and anything you want listeners to know about yourself.
Great. So first of all, thank you for the invitation to participate in this podcast. I think that the idea of involving technology in education together in synergy is something that is very important. So thank you for this opportunity. My name is Itamar from Israel. I'm 3D printing expert and the co-founder and CEO of Princess. I'm also an electrical engineer and provide 3D printing consulting services, working daily with commercial companies and educational institutions as well. We're working with professors, teachers, and technical staff from universities, research centers, high schools, and elementary schools. In the last few months, we also see a demand for 3D printing solutions, even in libraries. So this is basically who I am.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for this great introduction. And the first question to you, can you tell me your point of view on using technology for education in general? Are you against that? Or you are pro-technology for education, and why?
Okay, so first of all, I think that using technology during the journey of education is something that is very important because, in my opinion, it's very interesting to see the excitement of the kids and students when they understand that they have the ability to manufacture in class and make some immediate tests with the printing models. I think that this is something that is very. One second. Sorry for that. I will start again if it's okay with you. In my opinion, it's very important to use technology during classes and during the education stage, because using technology in terms of existing time, this time is something very, very important because many kids and students, when they come into the real life, when they come into the real jobs, they need to use the technology, and using this in early stage of their life will give them the opportunity to create new ideas, create new designs, eventually lead to better place. That's it.
That sounds really brilliant. I think that using technology in early stage, and totally agree with you on this point, helps kids to adapt to life quicker, because our life is so full of technology and everything, and it's so important to have those skills that could be used not only in day-to-day life, but also in job that they're gonna start. And if we're gonna go deeper a little bit into technology in general, which one do you think is the most useful or suitable for the education? Is it going to be open libraries or online learning, or anything you can point out, and why?
I think that the most important thing for the kids and for students is to work with the synergy between digital and physical world, and therefore I believe that 3D printing is one of the key technology for this. By the way, people just heard about 3D printing in the last few years, but 3D printing has actually been around over 30 years, and it became much more accessible since printers become affordable. Nowadays 3D printer can cost something like $100, and this is one of the reasons that we are seeing more printers in offices and schools. And I believe that I know that it's very interesting to see the excitement of those students when they understand the ability to manufacture in class and test it immediately. 3D printing gives tremendous push to STEAM skills and ideas. And those students that exposed to 3D printing will eventually use digital manufacturing solutions during their jobs and will change manufacturing. So, in my opinion, having 3D printing in class and to use it as a means to an end, as a kind of a journey, and the printed model as the end of the journey, it's something that could bring a lot of team ideas and eventually make those students and kids involved with the community, involved with businesses, and create better products. And this is one of the things that's very important for businesses, because once you're using digital manufacturing in order to reduce time and money, you're providing very interesting, very important value to businesses.
I totally agree with you on that point. And also, I was recently talking to one of the people who was also involved in digital technology and 3D printing. And the main point we were discussing is that actually 3D printing helps kids to with creativity and innovation. Because once they have an idea, they can draw it, but with the help of 3D printing, they can easily implement it as well.
Yes, I think definitely I agree with you. The idea that you can design something and you can immediately make it physical, or maybe also use a scanner and bring it back to the digital world, is something that provides very important ideas and very important ability in this technology implementation. And I believe it will take only few years for those kids to create very creative solutions for everything that's involved in our daily world.
And if we take into account you are in Israel, how do you see currently if like in Israel schools it is used already, the 3D printing, or do you see it's being used in the next couple of years?
So first of all, Israel is one of the countries that 3D printing, or in the professional term, additive manufacturing, are they're very pioneer. We have many Israeli companies that develop 3D printing technologies, so therefore we are seeing more printers in the education sector and of course the commercial sector. I'm working daily with the schools, and I see that the implementation and the adoption of 3D printing become much more common, and I believe it will be more common in the next few years. We are teaching the students and teachers and also kids using the technology sometimes as the technology itself, but also as a tool, as a means to an end to design something else. Like I mentioned, if you want to reach to those STEAM's ideas, and I believe it will be much more common, as I mentioned. By the way, one of the things that I see around is because 3D printing is very interesting technology, but if you compare it to 2D printing, it's not very easy to print in the production side. And I will explain myself. When you want to print something in 2D printing, you just hit the button Control P or maybe right click on the mouse. In 3D printing, it's not the case. And this is, by the way, something that we are doing in my company, in Printsys. We developed a state-of-the-art patent technology platform that enables an automatic 3D printing processes with the hit of one button. And we have a proprietary algorithm, machine learning and artificial intelligence, culminating into full end-to-end platform to diminish 3D printing usage barriers. And this is something that we are doing in order to make 3D printing adoption much more easier. And by the way, there are students, teachers, educators that want to use our beta version. I encourage you to do so. So if you have any issues with the printing processes, you are more than welcome to test our technology.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. And can you tell me, like, how do you approach people, like those that don't know what 3D printing is? How do you approach the educational institutions and tell them, um, like, that's a good thing to try and so on? How do you talk to them? Because it's new technology.
So, yeah, so mainly we are using digital and physical channels as well. Like the 3D printing technology itself, sometimes it's digital and sometimes it's physical. We are providing lectures and also information about 3D printing basics. We're using physical and actually lectures in the schools itself, but also we're using webinars and online platforms in order to provide information as much as possible, because we believe that we need to make 3D printing much more accessible. And this is one of this is something in our DNA, and this is basically how we're doing so.
Okay, got you. And if we, like, last question to you, if you come across a person who says, like, I totally don't understand why you need to use technology in the classroom because old-fashioned methods, they prove themselves and they're all good. How do you persuade them and try to turn them on your side, or how do you talk to them, or do you push them to try something new?
So basically, I'm encourage everybody to start using 3D printing. And for those that afraid to do so or don't understand the pros and cons of the technology, I'm basically showing them some showcases and case studies about the ability to create something immediately, something customized. There are many stories about implementation of 3D printing in meta in the dental industry and so on. So, or for example, many surgeries using prototypes of 3D printing prototypes. So once you see that you have the ability to think about something, imagine something, design it, and print it immediately, it's tremendous effect on your daily life. And once they are seeing how they can solve the problem that they have using 3D printer, basically they're convinced to move on. For example, if you have something that broke in your house and you want to fix it, when you have the ability to do it in 3D printing, you will never go back. When I'm working with teachers and also with engineers, once they're exposed to 3D printing technologies, they never come back, because the effect of customized products to print it immediately without need the ability to use many machines or many people during the production line, only using one tool, 3D printer, it makes tremendous effect.
Makes sense. Thank you so much, Itamar. That was like really great insight into 3D printing in general. And I think it definitely develops creativity and definitely helps kids with innovation skills. Because even printing something on a small scale in 3D, it's already a great step forward for the for development of those essential skills for 21st century. I would like to thank you a lot for your time and all the thoughts shared, and have a great day, Itamar.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for the opportunity. And if anybody wants any assistance about 3D printing, you are welcome to be in touch with me, and I will be glad to provide more information, of course. And like I mentioned, I encourage you to test our beta version in order to shortcut your pre-printing processes with the hit of a button.
Thank you.
Everything changes